Hey, welcome back to Adventures in Reach. I can say I am finally here at Lake Superior, and I'm going to be sailing to Isle Royale hopefully tomorrow. I've got the Sunfish back here, and I've had several people ask me about the equipment that I bring, and so I'm going to go over that quick. I did in a different video talk a little bit about my life jacket, but I'll give you a little more detail here. So obviously everybody should be carrying a whistle, just a basic safety precaution. In this pocket I keep these pencil flares, and now these are pretty worn from rubbing on each other, you know, climbing back and forth into the boat, whatever. I also keep these energy bars in this pocket. Over on the other side of my life jacket I have a set of waterproof matches in a container with a striker. I have my GPS in here, and this is a waterproof GPS. I also have my watch clipped on the left shoulder, and so I'm kind of using the watch and the GPS in sync to see, am I making it far enough where at some point do I need to bail and turn around. I have my river knife here so I can blunt on one side so that I can cut a rope off my leg or something if it gets wrapped. It has happened once before anyway. So that's the life jacket, and then here I have this Nrs Bag. I am using this because, well, it is rubberized and because it's red, so it's the obvious oh shit bag. And so this bag, when I grab it, what I have in there is first a first aid kit, and that'll include a SAM splint, and it has some epi in it, and just your basic first aid supplies as well. Also, I have a bunch of signal devices, so I have 4 more of these Orion pencil flares, parachute flares. I've got this guy that's a handheld smoke flare, and then a handheld red flare for day or night. I also have some of these glow sticks or Calmine sticks, and I've got a red, green, and white for boat colors, since I don't have any lights on the boat, of course. Also in this red bag I have some more Cliff Bars, and then if I'm in the water for a long time, I have as well a neoprene hood and neoprene gloves. I have an extra GPS and a marine radio. So all of that stuff goes into that red bag there. And then the last thing I have is this bucket, and the rope kind of tied around it, as you can see, and this will serve as a sort of sea anchor just to slow me down a little bit, trail it behind the boat if I'm going too fast with the wind and catching up to waves. And so all of this stuff is great to have if you're doing a crossing like this. If you're sailing a Sunfish, you really just, if you're near shore, if you're just out for the day kind of tooling around a lake, you're not that far away from shore, there's a lot of other boats around, that sort of thing, and it's well within what the intended use for the Sunfish is. You don't need most of this. Obviously it's not a bad idea to bring a flare, a few flares, and generally always have a whistle. If you're in a kind of complicated lake with some islands and things, a GPS could be useful as well, but you don't need to go crazy with all of it. You should be okay. However, if you're going out in difficult conditions, if you're going out like this where I'm doing a 22-mile crossing tomorrow, this equipment is stuff that could come in really handy. And now I plan for the worst, and so not that it would happen, but if there's a deadhead, a vertical floating log, and that thing kind of comes up from a wave and just breaks the bottom of my boat, and the thing, let's say the boat just splits in half, the foam flies off, gets blown away, and the boat sinks, and then I can just grab this red bag, and from what I have on my life jacket and from what I have in the red bag, that all of this stuff should keep me safe so that I can just float in the water for several hours. I'll also be wearing a dry suit, and so I'll be dry, warm, have food, I can call somebody up. I'll also have a spot beacon on my arm. So plenty of options there to use in case of emergency. So there you go. That's my answer for what you might need to bring on your Sunfish.